Hi, in this video we're going to talk about naming your company, naming your brand, and also your Amazon display name. So these are three separate things. For example, an Amazon display name is basically the name of your shop. For example, this shop is called Balance From, and then they have the individual products here. And it's basically your store name. And what I recommend for this is to keep it generic, because in the future you might sell slightly different products to what you started out with. Like these guys started out with a yoga mat. If they called it Yoga Experts and then they had the body weight, the exercise mat, the dumbbells, it doesn't quite match. Overall, these are kind of a fitness, exercise, health company, so they should have kept their name to be very kind of generic. Balance is good. From, I'm not sure why they put Balance From. It doesn't sound great, to be honest. Something like GoFit's cool if you're doing general health and fitness, right? GoFit would be a great name for all of these kind of products. Or just something more generic, not so specific. Okay, so that's the Amazon display name. Your brand name is basically like the name of your products. You can trademark that, and then you have your company name, which is actually your business itself. And these three things can be different. It's absolutely no problem for them to be different. You're just going to trademark the brand name, which is basically what goes on the products, right? If you're labeling all your mobile phones Apple because you're Apple, then that's your brand name and that's what you're going to trademark and that's what you're going to protect. The store display name, you don't need to trademark. Your company name, you don't need to trademark. It's just the brand that you're focused on. Okay, so you have the Amazon display name, your company name, they can be different, so it's fine. So your store could be called, GoFit Products, and your company name could be AT&B's Products Limited, right? It can be different. And the question is, should you be specific or should you be generic? And the best answer to that is, take Apple for example. Apple now sells Macs, iPads, iPhones, watches, TV, music. Any products they launch under the Apple brand matches because the Apple name is very generic. Something like AT&T, the full name, American Telecom and Telecommunications, that's very specific. But AT&T, again, they've got phones, they've got internet, they've got TV. Generally, anything could fit under that name and match. Whereas something like Vodafone, you would expect it to be related to telecommunications products. So what if technology changes in the future? We don't use handheld mobile phones anymore. We use 3D glasses to do everything. Vodafone kind of doesn't match their products anymore. It's a little too specific. For example, if these guys named their brand Yoga Experts, like I said, all these other products seem not to match. So I recommend you go for something generic, just in case you adapt your products. Maybe 3 years later, you could be selling very different products to what you start with under the same brand. So basically, just make it a little generic so it can apply to anything. Apple's a great example of that. How do you get ideas? There's tons of name generating sites on Google. So you just search business name generator. This is one I just pulled up. And basically, let's say I was going to sell home products. You got like Home Shack. That sounds cool. I like that. There'll be hundreds of ideas. Home Lux. That can be almost any product, right? You can even be more generic than that too. There's another generator name here. Let's try Home. Medium's fine, short names are fine. I don't want a long name. Brandable name, multiple words, foreign words. Okay, let's try foreign names just as an example. Cool, okay. Tiny house, that's cool. I like that name. Birdle, Hotelier, bit too specific. See, there's hundreds of these sites where you can get some cool ideas. Panera, what's a Panera? It could be anything, right? Greendale could be anything. Lakewood, really good name, could be anything. Again, very generic. Same here, another one, Shopify do one with name suggestions. And then what I recommend you do is you just check the availability. Check on Amazon, no one's using the name that you're thinking of using for your Amazon display name, and you can check that. For your company name, you have to check in the country you're registering. So if I'm registering an LLC, in a certain state, then I need to check the name availability with the person helping to set up the company. If you're, selling from if you're in the UK and you're registering a UK company, again, you need to check in the UK if that name is available, because I can call a company one thing in one state and the same thing in another country, right? So they can be an Apple UK and they can be an Apple America. In this case, they're both owned by Apple, but you do get sometimes people with the same company name in different countries. So you do need to check availability in your country. You can't protect it internationally unless you make it a trademark for that brand as well. Okay, and then the other thing you want to do is check, the social availability of whatever brand name you're using, because it's the brand name, the trademark, the logo you're going to put on the product is what you're going to use. So let's take an example here that we were looking at. I liked Lakewood. Lakewood's cool. Okay, so then I would go to here. See, the domain name's gone, Facebook's gone, Twitter's gone. Okay, so we need to think of something else, because you want to have the Facebook, Instagram, and the domain as a minimum for your brand name. It's much better. You don't, and maybe YouTube, but you don't need all of these, right? You just want to make sure those main ones are covered off. 1, 2, 3, 4. If those are covered off and the name's available for those, and you like the name and it's generic, then you've got a great name and you can go with that. So just play around with things. I like to use the dictionary. I like to use a thesaurus to get ideas too. Saurus. Okay, so if I was to type in home, central, family, local, national, homely, inland. Let's see. Folk, tribe. Tribe's a cool word. You can just explore, and you can then type these words into the name generators and see what comes up, and then just double check them. So come up with a brand, come up with a company name, and come up with an Amazon display name, and they do not have to be the same. So actually, most people will never see your company name, so that can be really anything you want and make it as generic as possible. The one you need to think the most about is your brand. Like, what logo are you going to stamp on the product? What's that name going to be? Because you want to trademark that and you want to protect that. Okay, thank you.